What's up, guys? Welcome to Swapping Mags, the unofficial Rainbow Six Siege podcast. I'm your host, Jason Anderson, and alongside me, as always, we have
Braxton
and
Pat.
Braxton and Pat. Now, since this is our first episode ever, let me break things down for anybody listening. We're going to be doing this every week. We're going to put it out on Monday, hopefully. Essentially, we're going to have 2 topics every week, or more. Could be a couple topics. Usually, it's going to be more than one topic, or maybe more than 2. So we're going to do breaking news every week, and we're going to lovingly call that What's in the Canister, which, come on. And the topic of the week could be anything from an operator, a map, a certain gun, or maybe even a listener question. But since it's our first ever episode, we're going to get right into things. We're going to go right into What's in the Canister.
What's in the canister? I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
What's up? This is Braxton. First, I just want to say I think the Rainbow Six community has definitely deserved a podcast for a long time. We're going to do our best to do it justice. Mm-hmm. Definitely let us know how we do. We need reviews for sure. Mm-hmm. But let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about off the Pro League Finals. Favorite jersey. Who's your favorite jersey?
Oh, man. Okay, we should say that we went to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
We were there. And it was awesome. A lot of cool things. Favorite jersey? Oh, my God. That is really tough.
I thought about it on the way here. I was like, that's a good question.
All right.
My favorite by far, Nora Ringo.
I was going to say
Nora
Nora
Ringo.
Ringo.
That's sick, like a Oni mask.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to differ from you guys, so it's a discussion. Even though they looked kind of crappy, I like Fuse.
Okay. Fuse. Face.
Face.
I already messed it up. Fuse. That's how much I cared about it. The Face Clan. I love with the blue and the yellow.
The Brazil colors?
Yeah.
I thought EG's was ugly.
They were ugly, and they were my favorite team.
It's kind of basic.
Yeah. That's basic. But yes, like I said, we drove 9 hours to Atlantic City to sit and watch the Pro Finals, and it was awesome.
It was really fun. And we mentioned Nora Ringo, so I think that's where we should start with the first match. Nora Ringo played Rogue. Right off the bat, there was a lot of hatred for Rogue out of this group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very punchable face coming from Slash Dog.
Slash was a little cocky, and we didn't really like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll go into it. First map was Consulate, and right off the bat, no one really knew who Nora Ringo was. They kind of came into it as these unknown players with unknown strategies and everything like that. You saw some weird things going on, mainly from some of the players on Nora Ringo, like using the Supernova with Habano, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Really weird.
In a good way. I thought it was super cool. Definitely think they could have utilized a buck instead, but personal opinions. You look at Waka, though. Waka was the star of that game, even though Nora Ringo did lose. Rogue just got pulled apart by a single player. No matter what their strategy was, he made them look uncomfortable just because of how good he was at his gunfights. Especially when he really turned it on when he got that ace with IQ. I think it was coming around the corner, and he used their own mirror window against them to see him, and that's when it kind of started and snowballed. But then, speaking of good players in that match, have to talk about Shuttle, the fill-in. I think fill-ins were the talk of the week, or at least the weekend.
Yeah, we'll get into the fill-ins later.
But Shuttle really came out and really showed that his gunplay and sticking to fundamentals was really the best way to handle that kind of match when you don't really understand what kind of strategies your opponents are using. Also, you kind of have to look at how did Rogue really fix what was happening, because they went 1-1 on the first 2 maps, and you really I think everybody expected Rogue to kind of just absolutely steamroll this unknown team. And they just kind of calmed down. They sat back and watched them run around for a while. Nora looked really disorganized. They made a lot of mistakes. There was one instance where I remember a Legion mine comes flying across this guy's screen, and he didn't even notice it. Lots of missed shots, things like that. So that's it for the first game. Rogue went on.
It was a good series.
It was really good. It was exciting. I don't think there was a match this weekend that wasn't exciting, except for
we'll get into
one that we'll get to.
Now let's talk about what was his name? Waco. Waka. See, I'm bad with names. I've already established that. But one thing we got to notice, he won MVP of the first round.
He did.
And deservingly so.
I agree.
Guy was on fire.
Yeah,
he carried that
every
team in ways.
single gunfight he got into.
He did. And that was the thing is you look at the ratings from that match, and I think it was he was the highest rated, and then Shuttle was the second.
Mm-hmm.
But even just somebody being that good with gunfights can completely change your team. No matter if there is a strategy to it or not, at the end of the day, if you're getting kills, if you're refragging, if you're fragging, you're going to be the one that's on top.
Now, I have a question for you guys. Braxton, you were outside, and you heard two developers talking about where the pro finals will be in the upcoming... You heard Brazil, right?
I heard Sao Paulo was the next one, and this was... I can't remember his name, but he was actually... If any of you watched the stream this weekend, or this past weekend, it was the shorter English guy talking about the map. He's one of the map developers. And he was talking to the other gentleman that was the operator developer. But he was telling him that Sao Paulo will be the next one that they're pretty sure on. And then their main goal is Tokyo.
See that? Okay,
that's going to be sick.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you think Norangu would have
an advantage
in Japan?
I don't, because do you really think that Rogue and EG had any kind of advantage just because they were in Atlantic? I don't really think so.
But here's the thing, in Japanese culture, I mean, they're not going to be off their
that's
seats
true.
cheering them on.
That's true.
So.
That's very true.
I mean, they had us rooting them on, but that was
that
wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think we're the only three in there that were really rooting for
If I remember correctly, they were up 4-1 in the second round before they blew it.
Yeah.
And so that was rough for them.
Yep.
All they had to do was win one, and they couldn't do it. Let's get on to the second match of the pro finals. What was that?
I'm going to call this one my favorite match.
Of the whole pro finals?
The whole tournament.
All right, what was that?
Exciting. This is Penta versus EG. I think everybody expected it to be pretty much a final face-off. I think you could have seen this in a final for sure, and they completely proved it. A lot of people will talk about Penta, and right off the bat, you hear a lot of announcers and a lot of people that analyze this game. They say that Penta takes a little bit to build up, and you really didn't see many signs of that in this matchup, which is some of the first time, because they got an early lead in the first map, but EG ended up making the comeback. I think Penta went up 4-1, and EG just blew them away out of nowhere. They really kind of swapped places for me. But they looked great off that first map. Then second map, they went to Bank. Penta got their heads back in the game, and they kind of rethought their strategies, went back to the book. You even saw them take that tactical timeout, the new thing that they implemented.
I heard somebody call it a TP.
TP?
Somebody behind me said, they're taking a TP. And I was like, what? Tactical time?
Well, they got their heads back in the game. And I think... everybody that plays this game competitively can say that it takes a lot to get your heads back and get back to where you need to be mentally when you just got absolutely demolished when you were 4-1 up.
Yeah, Penta's really good at that. They just kind of reset after
they're like
each
a machine.
and every round. Yeah,
they just absolutely just cleared their minds and then came right back at it. Won that second map, and they took the momentum right out from under EG. And I think momentum is obviously an important thing in this game, and you saw that. Then we go to Border, which Penta is notoriously good on. I think a lot of teams are good on this map in general, just because it's such a well-balanced map. In that you saw BC get left alone. I think it was 3 to 4 times where he was just the only one. Play, I swear, it was the best play that I saw all weekend. He blows out, BC is the last one alive, blows out the top, throws a C4 and clutches it, killing 2 people.
That was amazing.
It was fantastic. And he also had another clutch where he killed 2 people as Mira. I'm a Mira main.
You are a Mira main.
And great Mira play.
That was really great. Yep.
I took a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes when I watched that. But
drum roll.
Speaking of fill-ins, we're going to talk about Kanto.
Oh my god!
Holy crap.
The carry rocket.
He was so good. It was so insane, especially because if you're in this community, you know who Fabian is, and you know what kind of person Fabian is.
A dick?
Yes. And he talked about how they were just there to gamble. They had to fill in. There's no way they were probably going to do that great because fill-ins don't really matter. Or not that they don't matter, but they can only be but so good. Kanto completely
MVP
changed everyone's mentality.
Especially in that first map. What did he average? 10 kills?
It was insane.
It was insane.
10 kills in 4 rounds.
Yeah. And he came up with big plays with Mira, specifically on border itself. And it was just crazy. He was winning all his gunfights. He was sticking to his basics. And at the end of the day, that's what really made the difference. Penta went through in that first round.
All right. So we had Penta go through and we had Rogue go through, which will set up that matchup later.
In the semis.
And then we have the next match. What is that, Braxton?
Millennium, my personal favorite team, versus FaZe, Patrick's personal favorite team.
And you guys were going head-to-head on this one.
Yeah.
We were. It was exciting, though. Shout out to Renshiro, best mirror in the game.
Wow.
Got to do it.
You got to say that.
Favorite player. Plays an amazing mirror.
Is he the one that was like 8 feet tall?
Yes.
Okay.
A giant of a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start with first map that they played on, Coastline. Spoiler alert, they play on Coastline for the semifinal on their first map also. So we'll go there. We'll start with Yogurts. Even Patrick said things about Yogurts. He is absolutely insane.
Yeah, he is. Oof.
Is it Yogurts or Yogurts?
I'm going to call him
I've heard both. I want to say
they were
Yogurts.
calling him Yogurts the whole time. Ever since I've been watching Millennium play and watching them play in the Pro League, everybody's pronounced it Yogurts. So he's French. Yogurt sounds cooler.
It's like Montaigne and whatever.
Montagne.
I'm going to call him Montaigne. I'm going to call him what I want to call him.
For the record, I'm still going to call him Yogurts. Because, I mean,
who, Montaigne? You're going to call him Montaigne Yogurts? That makes no sense. But anyway, let's keep going.
Alright, so we'll start with Montaigne Yogurts. Played out of his mind.
Very well.
You saw him play against probably the best Twitch in ESL, Astro from FaZe. But he, in my opinion, played a better Twitch. You saw him get a lot more points as far as getting rid of all of those devices and utilities that they were trying to bring to the table. Also, he was winning his gunfights way more than anyone else on the team. We keep saying it. Gunfights, they're important. I think we can all say from personal experience, no matter what your strategy is, the gunfights are really what matters.
Right.
So, Millennium wins Coastline, then we go to Clubhouse. And we get to see the best Blitz in the game. Mav goes on Blitz. Clubhouse is a perfect map for that. And absolutely soaked up the attention from all of Millennium's players.
You geeked out pretty hard. I've seen you play Blitz like crazy now.
I know. And it's just insane how much of a difference you saw one change in character make just because of the map and how good he could utilize that character. And you just saw signs of Millennium in this entire matchup, really all weekend, taking a long time to plant and make their last push. And I think me and Patrick talked about that a lot, about how they were kind of not really wasting time, but not really utilizing their time as well as they could have.
Yeah.
And you definitely saw that on Clubhouse for sure. Then we'll go to the third map, which is Consulate. Millennium came with a lot more aggression. You saw Yogurts getting a lot more run-out kills. Hicks was playing the rotation game perfectly.
It was just momentum at that point.
Yep. And they kind of just kicked it right back out from under FaZe. The whole game was tight. Every game was really good in that matchup. And especially with Blitz, they tried to bring him out on Consulate, and they just out-rotated him. They knew exactly how to play against him. And at the end of the day, FaZe really couldn't do much about it. Shout out to Cameraman, though. He had some really good plays in that map. He had a double kill C4 throw, and I think it was a pulse. It was the one from the floor.
I've been trying to do, and I cannot do it.
And you actually saw lots of pulse play under the objective this weekend. And I think it's really going to change the meta. Yeah, I agree. Especially main, when you play and objectives are upstairs, I think now people are going to start from downstairs a lot more to get to that upstairs objective. Now, last match, the most...
Well, who won that one?
Millennium.
Millennium won.
Millennium.
So Patrick was burping in the microphone, and also he was He was very upset. Good, I'm going to have to watch that thing. So, yep, Millennium won. And then I just want to make a quick note before we get into the next match. I was asleep for this next match. In a bed.
Dead asleep.
I think I might have been too.
Were you asleep? I know he was...
No, we watched... Okay, so you guys kind of fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like there, we were like, let's just go back to the hotel room. We went back. I was watching on Twitch. Me and Pat were eating.
Oh, yeah,
Jason was snoring.
Okay.
Which is fine. Completely understandable.
Hey,
because
I have sleep apnea, right?
we talked about how this match... There was one match that was not very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Was it
Liquid versus Fnatic.
Now, when you say not entertaining... I think you should say not competitive.
Not competitive.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a way better way to put it.
Because it was definitely entertaining.
I'll tell you who was entertaining.
Liquid.
Nesk.
Oh.
Nesk was a monster this entire weekend. First map was Chalet, or Chalet.
As the French
most
would
of us,
say.
yeah, as most of us call it. Fnatic go up 4-2, and then just all of a sudden, Liquid were like, okay, let's try to play now.
Mm-hmm.
And Zig talked about all weekend how they just wanted to have fun. They were just going to joke around, and you really saw that when they played. And it was a good mentality, apparently, because they made that comeback. Ness got an ace that next round to get them back 4-3, and then they just carried with that momentum. Map 2 was Oregon. Spoiler alert, does not go to map 3.
No.
Ness played out of his mind again. They jumped right back into the blitz play of Sexy Cake, who was
the hottest girl I've ever seen play. Everybody that sees him was like, I didn't know they had a girl on the team, and that's not a girl. It's a very pretty boy.
He's a sexy man.
That's
why
Sexy
Cake
fits, man.
Yeah.
And he played the blitz strategy beautifully. I personally think Mav was a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But Mav didn't have Nesk.
He did not.
And you really saw what kind of difference that made. Fnatic was really disappointing. Magnet, I'm not trying to talk any kind of crap, but Magnet did not show up. Aces was really their best player. You saw him time and time again as the last one alive, doing things he needed to do, while everyone else was kind of like off doing their own thing.
So what you're saying is Magnet is garbage, and you should fight in the parking lot. Is that what you want?
No.
Okay, so Magnet, come at us, tweet at us. We're coming for you.
And Fabian tweeting after that match, M is for Magnet, completely calling him out.
What a D is for douchebag.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is the end of the semis, and we had Liquid coast right through.
It's not the semis, it was the first round.
Shut up. End of the first round, that's what I said the first time. Before we go right into the semis, do either of you guys have anything you wanted to say?
I think it's kind of like that last match of the first round. Liquid, you're going to see a lot more aggressive plays from them later on. I mean, Nesk is an absolute monster. He's with the gunfights, he just moves one after another.
Scary. And that's what me and you talked about that night when we watched it, because my favorite team's Millennium. When we saw that they won, Patrick was like, how do you feel about it? And I was like, I don't feel confident at all. Mm-hmm. I was like, that was one of the scariest looking teams to absolutely demolish somebody like Fnatic.
The only team to not go to a third map. And I don't want to be a spoiler, the only team to not go to a third map the whole finals, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Every game.
Yep.
Exciting.
So we're going to go right into the semis. So the first matchup, we had Rogue versus Penta.
We did. And it was kind of battle of who did we not want to get more, /Hub and Fabian.
And what did we pick?
We picked
we went with Penta all day.
Yeah, we went with Penta. I don't like little Jonah Hill over there. I don't like him. /Hug. Get out of
Scott Pilgrim 2.0.
Yeah.
Even that's not
That's
Hill.
Michael Cera.
Yeah,
you ruined it. We're cutting it out. Nope, staying in.
So, I kind of described it to you. I think every sport needs a Stone Cold. Mm-hmm. And, I think Fabian's that guy. Somebody's got to talk crap, kind of stir the pot. /Hug was really bad at it. He seemed way too serious about it, and I think that's what really made me not like him.
It sounded like he was reading off a script.
Yeah.
Like, didn't think they were.
But that's why I say it. It's not even that he read off a script. It's like it's what he actually thought. Right. And that's why I was like, come on, you can't just demean a team right off the bat like that. Anyways, Penta versus Rogue. First time getting to see, I think I can say, our favorite map in Rainbow Six, and yours, Skyscraper.
Well, it is a classic map. And don't get it confused. Skyscraper is not Tower.
Not Tower.
Tower is the worst map, and I will do things to make sure it's not in the game.
I actually think I wiped my ass with Tower today.
Yeah, you did.
So we'll get back into it. Skyscraper. Everyone was super excited when they finally picked it.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue's attacks were not carrying any weight behind them in the beginning. Penta's strategies were way too strong. They could not be dislodged the whole time. It was just perfect execution of strategy. And you saw lots of Rogue people switching around operators, which was not necessarily weird because you see people do it a lot, but you have designated people all the time. Like you look at Ranchiro, who plays Smoke. You looked at Kanto from Penta, who every time a border played Mira. Like, they had those set operators and set strategies where Rogue, it just seemed almost like they were playing a ranked match where they were like, oh, let's try this out this time. Let's try out, Slash on Blitz this time. You never see, like...
They weren't comfortable with the operator.
No, they really weren't.
I think Penta was just putting them on the edge.
What do you think it was the map at all? I'm not comfortable using this person on this.
No, not necessarily. I just think it was strategy. I think it was Penta were just way too overwhelming, and like I said, they could not be dislodged. It was like, okay, how are we going to get them to move next time? How are we going to have to force them out of Geisha Room? How are we going to force them out of karaoke? And they couldn't really do it. And actually, Penta picked barbecue first, which is like really out of the question, but defended it.
Yeah, we tried to defend barbecue last night.
We did that once, yeah.
And it did not work out for us.
No, it didn't work well at all.
We got beat up.
And we're not Penta, so...
No, we're not even close to that.
Next map was Border. Again, we saw Penta playing well on Border. Border?
At the border. Okay, keep going.
You're supposed to be the New York guy, not me.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? The border.
So then we have Penta, who looked super uncomfortable on Border out of nowhere. Easily was playing a really good Valkyrie. Lots of good Valk cam spots. Definitely recommend, if you guys haven't already, watch a little man by the name of Coconut Bra on YouTube. Has a lot of good suggestions for cameras from the finals in general.
It's nutty. It's very nutty.
It's nutty.
He says that almost.
He's great. He's great. Shout out Coconut Bra if you're listening.
Yeah, he's not.
I'll
tell you right now, he's not.
So we'll go into Border. Penta lost that one. Their trades weren't going well. Rogue was really just getting them to move around and pick them off one by one. Rogue just stuck to basics on that one, and it just went well for him. Then you see them go to Oregon, which is another personal favorite of mine. Jonas in the first map, I want to point this out because you saw Canadian from EG when they played Penta try to keep Tower. And everybody was like, that's kind of ridiculous. They're just going to pinch you off anyway. You should just, ditch Tower and kind of stay meeting hall. But what you saw in that first map, or not in the first map, but the first round was Jonas was in Tower and probably cut off 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Bought him a lot of time.
And bought them so much time, and he was Jaeger with no magpies near him. Just absolutely just based off of positioning and gunfighting. Completely
that's the most important thing. Other than gunfights, buying yourself some time.
Exactly. And you saw Jonas really utilize that. Really hard to do it in Tower, I don't think I'd ever be able to see anybody else do it. Especially somebody like Canadian, one of the best players in the league, couldn't do it. But Penta ends up coming out on top on Oregon. They beat Rogue. Penta goes through, and I think we were all really excited about that.
I was.
Penta's roaming was really great also. They just have the best strat book. It's so glaringly obvious that their strategies are the best from what I've seen. All in all, Rogue seemed like really weak from a strategy point of view. It didn't really seem like Ranger's their coach. It looked like he was doing as much as he could, but at the same time, there wasn't a lot going on that really made any kind of difference.
Fabian called him out even before the match, saying Rogue was going to be easy to play.
He did.
Yeah, and it turned out that it was true. His strat books were crazy.
He did give him some props at the end, saying, hey, they were an amazing team, but, Fabian's
we have to talk about No Shoes McGee, Fabian.
What's up with that?
I thought it was hilarious.
He likes to be comfortable.
And then when he comes out on stage and the whole like crowds start chanting, "Take off your shoes." Fantastic.
You're never gonna see that again.
Super
Nobody's
fun.
gonna be on stage and getting yelled to take their shoes off.
Except for
When do you
baby.
get that? ESL,
Yeah.
Rainbow Six.
Maybe a brothel. If you're into that.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you get to see them toes. All right.
Hold some hands.
So we get to the next semifinal match.
Which is Millennium versus Liquid.
Mm.
Not a whole lot to talk about the different.
Let's try it
I'm
again.
having a stroke. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
Differentiates.
Sure.
I'll get there one day.
Let's move past it.
From anything else that we will talk about Liquid, which is just they played out of their minds
Right.
as far as their gunfights went.
This was heartbreaking for you.
It was really heartbreaking, especially because the first map was Coastline.
Mhm.
And Millennium picked it. And Millennium got 5-0'd.
Yeah.
They looked uncomfortable. Their strategies just seemed like they were thrown out the window. They were just all over the place. It seemed like Renshiro got left in the objective every single time by himself. And it's just really hard for one person to kill 5 people most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was even one point in Coastline where I think it was just Zig. I can't remember for sure. It might have been Bullet, but planted the bomb, and it was just him alive versus 3 Millennium members, and they still couldn't get that bomb to be defused because no one was moving and pinching on that last Liquid player alive.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, just really unorganized, really uncomfortable. And pretty much that's how it looked for the whole entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Millennium did win the second map, but they still just, again, looked super uncomfortable, weren't winning their gunfights as much. And again, Sexy Cake bringing out a fantastic blitz, Ness going off, and that's really the main point of why
Right.
Liquid did so good all
So
weekend.
Liquid moves right into the finals versus Penta, and this was an interesting matchup. You got the big confident Penta, who's coming off their last year win,
They're just here to gamble.
but they're just here to gamble because they got a replacement. You know,
Yeah.
That's their big excuse. And then you got Liquid, very humble dudes, just saying, "Hey, we're here to have fun." And Braxton, what happens?
The most intense matchup, for sure. Not my favorite, but definitely the most exciting. Between everything that they played, it was just like Liquid were, and you even saw it when Fabian and Zig had their little, get together in the middle before the match started. Fabian was trying to talk a bunch of crap and get them all riled up, but Zig was just like, "We're going to have fun. I don't care what you say. We're just going to kind of mess around and do our own thing." And you really saw it happen. In the first map, it was really close. Second map was super close. Liquid were having to make a bunch of comebacks, but were making it happen, which is the main thing. And then third map Consulate, Liquid just absolutely demolished Penta. I remember the last round, the winning round, I think they were up 4-1. And I feel like they all just said, "Let's just have some fun." And they jumped out and they just mauled them. And it was awesome to see people just kind of have fun and do their thing and be able to win.
And win a lot of money, too.
It win a lot,
Yeah.
for sure, a lot of
Yeah.
money. But mainly not having to have like this super heavy strat book and all of these super heavy
Mhm.
strats. Like it seemed like it was just like Nesk and Sexy Cake. Like, "Hey, let's have some fun. You play Blitz, I'll play Ash and Ying, and we'll go off."
One thing we noticed, Sexy Cake played the whole finals.
With his foot on his chair,
I don't know what was happening.
knee beside chest, foot on chair.
Talk about comfortable. That's the way he likes to be comfortable?
I mean,
That's interesting. To say
you know,
the
I
least.
sit like this. I'm a small man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
can't-
but he nailed it.
He did. He played a great blitz.
So,
They played great all weekend.
yeah, and they got the dub.
They did.
They
It was
won
his
the whole
first
thing.
Brazilian team,
hmm
or maybe South American, I think, is
Mhm.
what he said.
So that's big. And so since we were at Atlantic City, we experienced it all. Give your 1 out of 10 experience.
The whole experience.
Yep.
10 out of 10.
10 out of
It was
10.
fantastic.
Loved every minute of it.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd gamble again.
Oh, yeah. Patrick outside. We're in the casino. Patrick's the only one that won any money. Braxton,
Ripperino, Paul Sorvino.
Ripperino over here, I think he owes the casino like $50,000. So,
At least.
all right. So we're going to close up the canister for this week, and we're going to get right into the big news of the week. Here it is. So we got the new season coming up, guys. I don't need a drum roll. Para Bellum is here. We had the reveal at Pro Finals, and boy, am I excited. What are you guys thinking?
I'm excited for sure.
Patrick is excited. Braxton, what do you think?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I really hate Bartlett University, and I just want to make sure this is not a Bartlett 2.0. But from what I've seen so far from the test servers, everything looks pretty cool.
Well, that brings us right into the first thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Villa, the new map from Para Bellum. So essentially, Villa is a winery in Italy. It is very beautiful. The one thing I've noticed is it is very woodsy. There's a lot of wood in that house, and that's scary. I don't know why it's woodsy. It's not in a forest or anything. It's just very wood-oriented. There's a lot of wood, not a lot of steel.
Woodsy, as you would say.
I would call it woodsy.
Woods-ish.
Woods-ish. An essential character on this map, maybe Buck. Shoot right through about 8 floors to get...
We love some Buck.
Well, I love some Buck. He's probably my main now, all of a sudden. But I really like this map. There's a lot of Easter eggs I've seen.
Did you see the one of Ezio on the tower?
I saw Ezio on the tower. Did you see that one?
I saw that. Did you see the zombie in the well?
Yep. You shoot a thing and zombies make a noise.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. And then, of course, the big one, the Assassin's Creed logo on the fountain. I mean, everybody's seen that one.
I don't think that's the big one. You forgot our Lord and Savior, Tachanka.
How can I forget?
Lord Tachanka. Praise him be.
There's a bunch of eggs. I don't know if you've seen that. They're little Easter eggs in the map.
God, that's fantastic.
Yep. Braxton, I want you to give your full opinion. I know you say you're very, standoffish about this map because you think it's going to be Bartlett 2.0. And I want to know why you think that and what makes you think maybe it's not going to be like that.
It just seems like there's a lot of the same kind of points of view, lines of sight seem the same. As far as destruction goes, it seems around the same. It feels like maybe the floors are going to be a little more destructible than Bartlett was. But they claim that they've opened up a little more areas. The staircase on it's super wide. It's a lot more close quarters from what I understand. But again, I've only watched a few videos of people playing on the test server so far, and it seems cool. It seems fun. Patrick, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of potential for like opening up long angles since everything is just wood. Okay. You could bust it open, sit from a couple rooms back, and create those nice little peaks.
And I think especially like if anybody watched the Pro League Finals when Renshiro, there's a part in Coastline where he blows up the right part of the wall to see into kitchen. If there's a lot of that going on, like creating your own lines of sight, I'm going to really enjoy the map.
Yep. One thing I did notice looking at some of the footage is there's a lot of secret areas. There's a wood panel that you can blow out that people don't know about.
The BDSM thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and then you got the wine cellars, you
you
got the wine barrels that you can blow out. Not very secretive, but still kind of scary. You're going to be standing next to a wine barrel and then boom, there's a guy in your face. Yeah, you're dead.
Ripperino.
Pauly Sorvino. So my initial take is I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It looks very interesting. Another thing I like to say is new is always better, which is not
Fair
true,
enough,
but that's a How I Met Your Mother quote. I'm very interested in this map. As long as they take out Tower and put this map in there.
As long as they take out Tower, I don't really care what happens.
Okay, I have one question for the both of you. They either keep Tower or they replace it with Favela. Your
Favela.
Favela?
What? I'd rather...
The Brazilian map Favela, the destructible environment of Favela.
I hate Tower.
Yeah.
Tower's growing on me.
Oh... Patrick!
So from now on, it'll just be me and Jason.
Yep, this is the new podcast. And Braxton and Jason, no Patrick. Let's talk about it.
I've got some decent plays on Tower. I mean, you guys have seen me as Smoke recently.
I agree. You've gotten good plays, but is it really a balanced map? That's the question I have. Let us know. Is Tower a balanced map? How do you feel about Tower? I would love to know because I hate Tower.
Right. As I see on the community, everybody hates it. But I want to know your opinion. Hey, tell me why you like it. Comment below.
If you have anything that you can tell me to sway me to like Tower, I would love to know.
So, Braxton, what do you give Villa?
Villa as a map? I mean, I haven't played it, but from what I see,
First impressions.
First impressions, I'm excited. I can't really give it a number ranking because I haven't played it yet.
Right.
But I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm kind of nervous, but I'm really excited to see
Cautiously
Well,
optimistic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Pat, what do you give it?
Solid 8 out of 10.
He's gonna agree.
I'm gonna like the map.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel
A
it.
very diagonal map, I've noticed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So that's gonna be interesting. We're gonna move on now to the bigger thing. The operators. We got 2 new operators, 2 new defenders. Let's see. Who do I want to talk about first? Let's go in alphabetical order. Let's talk about Alibi. Oh my god. So Alibi is scary. She has 4. Is it 4?
3.
3. She's got 3 deployable hologram
Prismas. They
prismas.
call it.
Prisma.
Prisma.
Sure, as the Italians.
Yeah,
would say.
you should probably learn your Italian.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm Italian. Sorry. Patrick's probably more Italian than I am.
Denied.
All right, that's enough.
What does that
What does that mean, Pat?
That's my last name.
Dominic the Cult.
Yeah. But her ability essentially is 3 holographic phony ladies alibi.
Very, very tricky.
Yeah.
Tricky little woman she is.
What do you think of that ability off the bat? Pat, let me hear it.
Off the bat, I think it's gonna be it's gonna put a lot of people on edge coming out the gate from spawn. One of the interesting things, if she's on the map, anybody outside is marked unknown unless you break a line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
So, from like just that basis, people are going to be scared about the spawn peaks, about all that potential.
If you're fast enough, you could throw 3 of them out there, and then you're standing there too.
Just chilling.
And
Yeah.
Doing
hey,
your thing.
boom, you get it.
Completely. If people use that to their advantage, it's going to slow the game down.
Yeah,
I think.
it'll slow them.
I like her as an operator. It's just going to slow the game
You
down.
think a nerf is going to come in 3 months?
I wouldn't say that a big nerf would come. I don't think she needs one. Her gun is a laser beam. I will say that from what I've seen. But I mean, I don't have an issue with that. I think gunfights really come down to the player.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as her ability goes, I'm just really worried about that outside not being marked until... Is it when you see her and until you shoot her?
When you see her. As
So
soon
it
as
is
you
the line
see
of
her,
sight?
yeah.
Well,
the line
it's
of
probably
sight.
not that bad. Because I guess if I look at her, I'm going to be able to shoot her. But she'll probably shoot me first anyway, so it
Right.
doesn't really matter.
Because you're going to be looking at 3 of them
Right.
and not know which one to shoot unless you're
Yep.
last.
Exactly. So...
The first play I've seen of Alibi, just have these holograms around the room, lie under one of them, pop, pop, pop.
mhm.
It's scary. You're on edge already. This is Rainbow Six. This is
Yep.
on edge the game. And now you're going to be looking around, shooting things, be like, damn it, that's not a real person.
Yep.
The big thing that I want to talk about is the holograms will always have the basic skin. Does that deter people from buying the skin at all, Pat?
I believe so because I mean, some people won't care because hey, it's a cool skin.
That's true.
But unless you really want the skin, I would not get it because it's gonna let people know like, hey, that's not the real one. After the first round, of course.
I was about to say
yeah,
it
after
has
the
to be
first
after
round.
first round, but
It's basically pay to lose if you buy a skin.
yeah,
You're
just
paying to
throw
lose.
some
at
money
this
down
point.
the
Yeah,
drain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to lose. Unless you're just really good at gunfighting.
But-
if you're Nest,
yeah.
you'll probably be fine.
exactly. But here's the thing: the past couple DLC characters. I mean, we don't have. Does Habana or Echo have any nice, cool?
Nothing
Skins?
cool.
Yeah.
They have them, but like, well, Echo has that.
That he does have the devil one,
that
right?
one, yeah. It's got.
See,
the
they don't
Kanye
focus on
mask.
these people.
No.
And we'll get into an elite skin that they just released that we'll talk about in a minute. But before we do that, we're going to end it with Alibi. Pat, do you want to say anything about Alibi before we go forward?
I think she's gonna be great. I don't think that's gonna be my favorite new operator. I think Maestro is definitely gonna be the stronger overall.
Okay.
The intel aspect of it for sure.
Wow. All right. Well, we're going to get right into Maestro. Before we do that, I want to say one more thing about Alibi, and it's the same about Maestro, is their sidearm.
Oh, the shotgun
Whoa.
pistol.
The shotgun pistol and a revolver. Snub-nose revolver, I
I
believe.
think it's a five round.
5-round
So-
shotgun pistol.
That's pretty scary.
I think it's super cool. I don't think it'll be so much scary from a gunfighting aspect, but again, if this map you can create your own lines of sight, it's going to be absolutely like
It's going to rip a hole right through a wall.
everything.
Yeah.
And you can sit 30 meters away and just blah, blah, blah.
I did see an Alibi play where her shotgun is insane. Very scary. It ripped through a wall in 0.5 seconds. Scariest shotgun I've seen in the game so far. But that is going to bring us to our second operator of Para Bellum, and that is Maestro.
Definitely the most badass looking operator
Oh,
we've had
yeah.
in a long time.
Oh, yeah. Now, originally, Braxton, you weren't hyped up about Maestro.
I wasn't. I thought he was going to be really underused, really underutilized, but people in our community have completely proven me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of people so far using him against important reinforced walls to destroy thermites and Hibanas. And I think that's absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time you see mutes and bandits doing that. If you've already got those on top of a Maestro that has an ACOG that can shoot you from across the map with an LMG.
Mm-hmm. Scary.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
People are, I think Liven tweeted it. Liven from Millennium, he tweeted Maestro, but he put OP at the end.
By the way, Liven did not show up.
Oh yeah, Liven was, I'm disappointed. He had some good plays,
but he was quoted as being one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, he said he was better than Fabian, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't see it.
No.
Yeah, wasn't. But Pat, I want to talk to you more about Maestro. So let's talk about his ability. What is his ability, Pat? Give me all the deets.
All right, he's got 2 evil eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They're reinforced, but here's the thing about them: when Maestro's playing them, shoot freaking laser beams.
They shoot freaking laser beams.
Like Braxton was saying earlier, they could get rid of thermites, place them on important reinforced walls, kind of harass people that come in.
It's a very harassable thing. Now, it is bulletproof when closed.
When closed.
Okay. But it can be blown up by explosives, ash, thermites.
Sledge.
Yep. Sledge is very important. The very interesting thing I want to talk to you guys about is disabling it. It can't be fully disabled, correct? We have Thatcher, Twitch, and Dokkaebi that
which only
could
shut it down
temporarily
Yeah.
disable it.
which is still very interesting,
Yeah.
and it makes Dokkaebi a viable play now.
Because
you
she's
could
always been viable.
She is very viable, I will say that, but more viable now with more cameras, especially with the new cameras coming out, which we'll talk about later.
True.
Yeah, more cameras is always a buff too. Dokkaebi.
Agreed.
But let's get back to Maestro. He has he's a 3 armor, 1 speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's gonna be a big boy, thick boy.
Always love a thick boy.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, yeah.
Patrick's a thick
I'm
boy.
loving
Patrick, I love
his weapons.
Yeah, talk about his weapons, Pat. What are we looking at?
He's got a LMG, which is the first LMG for the Defenders, if I'm not wrong. And
You're right.
that LMG has an ACOG attached to it, so it's gonna be sick nasty.
Wild.
Wild.
It's
Wild.
getting lit, fam.
All right,
That's
we're going to
something.
cut that out, Braxton. We can't have that kind of stuff in it. All right, we got a lot of notes here, Pat. What else do we have about Maestro we want to talk about?
He could see through smoke, which is really cool. It can,
That's big.
I forgot
Yeah.
You
about
did
that.
forget about that. That is huge.
like when attackers going for that fast plant, let them know. Big intel
Mhm.
guy, and I think it's gonna be proven that he's gonna be the better operator out of Alibi. I mean, Alibi is gonna be tricky to deal with, but the intel with
Able
Maestro,
to be played around, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Maestro is definitely harder to play around.
His weapon does 5 damage, correct? His ability?
Yeah.
What are they called?
Evil Eyes,
Evil Eyes. I
and
like
they
that
do
name.
5 damage.
They do 5 damage for each hit. And they're basically a Jaeger. You know, you can plant them anywhere you want on
Mhm.
anything that...
Functionality wise,
Right. So this leads me to the question, out of Alibi and Maestro, which would you guys prefer to play more?
Maestro.
Maestro.
For sure.
Yeah, Maestro role model.
I think Alibi would be more fun,
Mhm.
but if it's a competitive setting, Maestro all day.
All right. Well, I'm going to differ from you guys. I'm going to say
Really?
Alibi.
In
See,
a competitive setting?
In a competitive setting, I don't like to roam. I don't like to walk around.
Right.
And I think Alibi is perfect. If they shoot me, or my holograms that is,
Mhm.
I know where they are. That's a big thing about Alibi that we didn't talk about very much, is if they have to destroy the gadget underneath the hologram.
Mhm.
If they shoot the hologram, they are immediately notified where they are on the map, and that's crazy.
only for a couple seconds.
Only
It's
cover
yeah.
seconds, but still, it's big.
I think it's big, but I think we'll see IQ be played a lot.
Mhm.
And from there, you'll just see that she'll see where the holograms are. From there, it's kind
Another
of like, okay.
huge counter, Glass. Watch out for because he picks up heat signatures and the holograms don't have one.
Big counter.
Big counter.
Big
I like that
counter.
one a lot.
Speaking of Glass, Canadian had this great Glass play during the weekend.
Mhm.
Definitely look it up, guys.
Look up that Glass play from Canadian. So Para Bellum, we are very excited about it. I think it's going to be a big one. We're probably not going to get it for a couple weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
I think it's June 2nd.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think
Oh,
it's
June 2nd.
Yeah, this first couple days.
That's
of
big.
June.
That's
Yeah.
very close.
I'm hoping so, at least.
It's on the test servers now.
Yep.
And,
a lot of people
what
are
I've
enjoying
seen,
it.
I've seen a lot of people enjoy it. All right. So,
What do you give it? What do you give all of Para Bellum? How?
out of 1 out of 10,
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic. I'm going to
Yeah.
give it an 8. I almost said 9. I'm giving it an 8. What do you give it?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8 too.
Yeah.
I'm excited mainly for the operators.
Okay.
To have somebody
Yeah.
like him on like Consulate and Bank, like it's just gonna be, it's gonna be insane.
And Pat?
Just for the thick boy coming up, I'll give it
Boy.
a 9 out of 10.
Oh, he's giving that extra thick boy points.
Damn.
Out of I want to say one thing. Out of Para Bellum and what was the last one called? With Finca and Lion. What was that one called?
Chimera.
Which one do you think is going to be more effective a year from now?
A year from now?
Yeah.
Lion's strong.
Lion's good, but he's very, I wouldn't say situational. It's just you have to have the right strats to have him. Somebody like say Kanto comes in to fill in for a team, he can stick to fundamentals and play Maestro and still get tons of kills as long as his gunplay's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably say Para Bellum character, well, mainly Maestro, but Para Bellum characters.
So you're big on Maestro. You're big on Maestro.
I'm big
Pat.
on Maestro.
I'm big on Alibi, but that is going to wrap up the Para Bellum talk for the week. Again, very exciting stuff. Again, about this podcast, we want to talk to you about that for a little bit. Obviously, this is a big news week.
Very big.
Very big. We got lots to talk about. Going forward, we're going to have this on every Monday, hopefully. We're going to record on Sunday, give it to you on Monday. And, we're going to be talking about things. If we run out of ideas, we're not going to. Because we want you guys to hit us with some comments, questions that we can talk about, topics that we can talk about, and give you our opinions. Hopefully, maybe down the road, we can talk to some of these pro players. Get Canadian on the phone. Say, hey, man, what's going on? That would be awesome. Because we're not going to give up on this podcast like podcasts have before.
Lots of podcasts in this community have.
Right.
And they're really, unreliable and really inconsistent. But my thing I wanted to get out of it is mainly Rainbow Six is really big on their community itself. I feel like they really listen to the community most of the time. Not like Fortnite.
Epic.
Epic, yeah.
But mainly just having you guys be interactive with us. That's really the only way we as a community can grow this thing. And I think since we started, me and you, Jason, have been playing this game since day one
of release.
And to see how big the community's gotten, how many people play this game is insane.
We were there when Glaz didn't have a thermal sight. We were there before that.
You remember that favela play?
I do.
We're gonna clip some of these things for you one day.
Yep. And we're gonna make our own YouTube channel one day. Show you some of these clips. Maybe even have a Twitch.
We do Twitch, guys.
Yep. So we're gonna do that eventually. But anything else you guys want to say before I wrap it up here in the final segment?
Interesting tidbit. I actually got interviewed for the Atlantic City
right.
Press.
He did. He's been talking about this. Tell him about your interview, Pat.
Yeah, I got interviewed for the Atlantic City Press for the event. Yeah, go read about it. Yeah,
go read about it.
Go read about it. Yeah. All right. Well, that's about it for us today. Until next week. What? Go ahead.
I have a question for you all next time.
Okay.
What I want to talk about next time is which operator do you want to see get a buff and why, and who do you think deserves it the most?
Okay, I like that.
I think
for
a lot
next
of
week.
we, if anybody remembers, we remember hashtag Buff Blitz.
Have Buff Blitz, and look at him now.
Buff is
Buff is
fudge.
Yep,
fudge.
Buff as fudge. That's gonna do it. Wait for that for next week. But don't forget to take cover and swap your mags. Peace out, boys and gals.
Peace.